So, with the festive season on its way, I find myself having less and less time on my hands, as a general rule, and I kind of refuse to destroy myself by adding too much onto my plate as it is. So, I'm going to be doing something fun today, and something fairly quick and easy, and that is this. I am going to tell you to both read and watch The Princess Bride, because William Goldman's masterpiece of a book, this absurd fantasy, fairy tale, satirical, metafictional adventure, is brilliant. And the movie, as I'm sure you know, is also just astounding. But let's talk a little bit more about the book because I've only recently read it for the first time. Um, and spoilers, of course, for this uh, honored classic. Uh, for starters, the book is it's one of the most thoroughly fun and slightly ridiculous experiences a reader will ever put themselves through. Not not once does Goldman let on in the actual writing of the book that this is anything other than a genuine abridgment of one S. Morgenstern's original story. But the thing is, there is no S. Morgenstern. He doesn't exist. He's sort of a straw man through which uh, through which some light-hearted fun can be poked at these very old, long-winded fantasy authors. I think possibly a bit of a Tolkien jab. I'm not gonna lie. Although even Tolkien never wrote 50 pages worth of description based on the number of hats worn by a woman who turned out to be bald. But I digress. Uh, we are told that Morgenstern's actual alleged The Princess Bride was this massive fantastical story detailing an actual historical adventure, which also never happened and is just part of the narrative, right? It gets so deep and tricky here that I can't stress it enough. It was kind of starting to annoy me a little bit with the modern day story being told of how Goldman decided to write the abridgment for the Princess Bride, and it's probably my annoyance probably stemmed from me having seen the movie and me wanting to get to Inigo and Fezzik and Wesley and Buttercup. But before long, I started to cackle because this made up version of Goldman, who I can't help but think is kind of a jackass, and I think that's maybe on purpose. Um, his just weird little adventure just gets so funny to me because he's absolutely committed to the long convoluted framing device for this story, which is totally unnecessary, I don't think. Um, and yet it works. It enriches the narrative in so many ways. It also helps that allegedly in this sort of universe within a universe, right? The events of the Princess Bride also actually happened, um, despite not having happened in our own real world, which convolutes things even more. Um, I believe I have digressed again. Um, the story of the Princess Bride remains just wonderful. However, the best I can describe it is it's kind of like something like Terry Pratchett's writing through an American lens in a lot of ways. It's that very satirical, very very witty and observant writing that never ceases to make me laugh, despite it's like never very cruel or distasteful. I don't think, and there's a lot of heart to it. Even so, it still manages to be romantic and charming, and even sad at times. The characters, whilst funny things tend to happen to them, and they do say funny things. They have very sharp, keen intellects as a general rule. Um, they're never forced to act out of character or to behave in any unintelligent way necessarily, except for the ones who are sort of meant to be kind of stupid, I guess. But like even Fezzik isn't, he's very lovable. He's got a heart of gold, and he makes up for what he lacks in traditional intellect. One could even make an argument that he's not even the dumbest character, although, uh, like, yeah, another whole can of worms, and I am not going to take the time to slander Buttercup at the moment because she has a good arc to her. She loses her true love only to find him again, only to be captured and held as a sort of damsel in distress, and back and forth, and even she comes across as a three-dimensional character, despite sometimes being mistaken for dumb and stupid, and sometimes a combination of dumb and stupid. But it's like it just adds to the satire of the narrative and to the heart of the narrative. The back and forth that kind of every character has, these contradictions in themselves that makes them feel real despite the hilariously unreal things happening to them. Uh, and I think where the story starts to sing is about the point where the man in black begins to have his separate encounters with Inigo and Fezzik and Vizini, these three bumbling assassins. Um, Inigo Montoya, played excellently in the movie by Mandy Patinkin, he would be the hero probably if we were telling this story like purely from a straight serious perspective. He is charming and has this great revenge arc. You know it, of course. The hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. He is looking for the man who killed his father, and his duel with the Man in Black reads just as well as it comes across on screen. The amazing fight scene, uh, it's legendary in no matter the medium in which it is experienced. And his search for the six-fingered man takes its turns naturally, and along the way we also have the absolutely lovable Fezzik, who was I think it was like a Turkish champion fighter in the book, as opposed to being a French wrestler. Uh, I have nothing but love for Andre the Giant, by the way. But and you also have like Vizini, just this brilliant, villainous, hilarious character who might be the funniest guy in the book. From his inconceivable line to the "you fool, you've fallen for one of the classic blunders." He always has something fun to say, and the story, the fairy tale, I guess, in itself is almost perfectly accurate between the book and movie, despite some changes and alterations to the metafictional framing device. It's wonderful, and I love it. And I wish Goldman had gotten the chance to finish the sequel before he died. There was in the sort of metafiction of the book a few references to the author Stephen King, like a joke about how Stephen King was vying for the chance to write the sequel instead of Goldman, and now I kind of want Stephen King to write the sequel as a sort of tribute to Goldman and his incredible mind for both satire and romance and tragedy and absurdity. So yeah, The Princess Bride is great in any of its forms, I'll say. And also, Andre the Giant was a hero and awesome. But once again, I digress. Happy holidays, everyone. And yeah, bye.